Super Bowl 59 was a historic letdown for Chiefs Kingdom as the Kansas City Chiefs, poised to achieve an unprecedented three-peat, suffered a 40-22 blowout loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on February 9, 2025, at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Patrick Mahomes endured one of the worst games of his career, marked by 3 turnovers and 6 sacks, while controversial officiating fueled debates about the NFL's fairness. The Eagles' dominant defense and Jalen Hurts' MVP performance exposed Kansas City's vulnerabilities, particularly along the offensive line. In response, GM Brett Veach swiftly signed tight end Anthony Firkser to the practice squad, sparking speculation about a future without Travis Kelce. This article dissects the game's key moments, the officiating controversy, Mahomes' struggles, roster changes, and the Chiefs' path forward, offering insights into whether this loss signals a need for a major rebuild. 1. A nightmare start for Kansas City. Early domination by Philadelphia. From the opening whistle, the Chiefs were outmatched. The Eagles' #1 ranked defense, led by Jalen Carter and Josh Sweat, overwhelmed Kansas City's makeshift offensive line, featuring Joe Thuney at left tackle and Mike Caliendo at left guard. Philadelphia surged to a 24-0 halftime lead, with the Chiefs managing just 23 yards on 20 plays, 1.2 yards per play. A critical moment came when rookie cornerback Cooper DeJean intercepted a Mahomes pass and returned it 38 yards for a touchdown, making it 17-0. The Chiefs' offense lacked rhythm, unable to sustain drives or protect Mahomes, who faced relentless pressure without a single Eagles blitz. Running game stifled. Isaiah Pacheco, Kansas City's primary running back, was neutralized, averaging just 3.4 yards per carry outside of garbage time. The Eagles' linebackers, including Zach Bond, clogged running lanes, forcing Mahomes to rely on a passing game that struggled against Philadelphia's zone coverage. The Chiefs' inability to establish a ground game compounded their offensive woes, leaving them one-dimensional and predictable. 2. Patrick Mahomes' unrecognizable performance. A game to forget. Patrick Mahomes, typically a magician on the field, had a career-worst performance, finishing with 257 passing yards, 109 in garbage time, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. His 11.4 total QBR was the second lowest in Super Bowl history since 2006, and his -0.297 expected points added, EPA, per play was among his worst ever. Mahomes was sacked 6 times, a career high, and pressured on 53.3% of dropbacks. His second interception, a forced throw to Rashee Rice picked off by Bond, came as Josh Sweat collapsed the pocket, highlighting the offensive line's collapse. Taking accountability. Post-game, Mahomes took full responsibility, stating, "I take ownership of this loss probably more than any loss of my entire career." He acknowledged the Eagles' superior play, admitting, "They played great from start to finish. The turnovers hurt. I gave them 14 points." His uncharacteristic mistakes, including a pick-six to DeJean, shook Chiefs Kingdom's confidence, with fans and analysts, like Robert Griffin III, noting it was his worst Super Bowl outing. 3. Officiating controversy fuels debate. Questionable calls and non-calls. The narrative that the NFL favored the Chiefs was dismantled in Super Bowl 59. A controversial non-call in the fourth quarter, when Jalen Carter grabbed Mahomes' face mask after a fumble forced by Milton Williams, drew scrutiny. NBC Sports' Mike Florio questioned how referee Ron Torbert missed it, citing the NFL rulebook's mandate to penalize such contact. Earlier, an offensive pass interference call on Eagles' A.J. Brown negated a 32-yard gain, prompting jeers from fans who saw it as inconsistent officiating. Tom Brady and Mike Pereira disagreed with the call, while Chiefs fans felt the refs ignored similar Eagles infractions, like a missed penalty on a play involving Nick Bolton. Calls for reform. Florio argued for a real-time review system using broadcast footage to assist on-field officials, a sentiment echoed by fans frustrated with the game's officiating. While these calls didn't alter the outcome, Philadelphia's dominance was undeniable. They reignited debates about NFL officiating's consistency and transparency, especially after a season where Chiefs' close wins fueled conspiracy theories. 4. Steve Spagnuolo's emotional breakdown. A defensive collapse. The Chiefs' defense, usually a strength under Steve Spagnuolo, was outmaneuvered by Jalen Hurts, who threw for 221 yards, rushed for 72, and scored 3 touchdowns. A pivotal moment came when Hurts connected with A.J. Brown for a touchdown and later scored on a tush-push, echoing Super Bowl 57's success. Spagnuolo's adjustments failed to contain Philadelphia's explosive offense, which outgained Kansas City 179-23 in the first half. Spagnuolo's outburst. Frustration boiled over when Nick Bolton was flagged for a personal foul on Saquon Barkley, granting the Eagles 15 yards. Spagnuolo, furious over what he saw as an uncalled similar play by Philadelphia, gestured with 2 fingers and shouted an expletive, captured on camera. His visible despair, burying his face in his hands, mirrored Chiefs Kingdom's anguish as the game slipped away. 5. Front office moves and a future without Kelce? Immediate roster changes. Hours after the loss, GM Brett Veach signed tight end Anthony Firkser to the practice squad, a move that raised eyebrows given Travis Kelce's age, 35, and retirement rumors. Firkser, a journeyman with 115 career receptions for 1,127 yards, offers depth but isn't a star. Kelce's quiet Super Bowl performance, 4 catches for 39 yards, followed a solid regular season, 97 receptions, 823 yards, 3 touchdowns, but his reduced impact against the Eagles fueled speculation about his future. Rebuilding the offense. The Chiefs' offensive line, exposed as a weak link, needs urgent reinforcement. Joe Thuney, Jawan Taylor, and Mike Caliendo allowed 4 pressures each in the first half alone, per NFL Next Gen stats. With Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown returning from injuries and Xavier Worthy emerging, 8 catches, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, the receiving core is promising, but the line must be addressed. DeAndre Hopkins' departure to the Ravens and his cryptic comment about being a missing piece suggest Kansas City may pursue additional offensive talent.